Alright, guys. We got ZOUN on the bottom right side of the map, REYNOR in the top left side, and it is, of course, a best of 5, the final quarterfinal in the upper bracket. Best player in this series will go through to face Serral. I think a lot of people are excited for a potential Serral-REYNOR rematch. EWC, they had one of the best series of the whole tournament. There was a lot of hype behind that one. Progress, very annoying for ZOUN. ZOUN, big fan of the Gate Scout. Likes to get in here, mess up his opponent's mineral mining just a little bit, but REYNOR's doing a decent job of counter-microing so far. Bring up that APM tab here at the start of the game. REYNOR on a casual 800 APM. ZOUN at about 380. Adept does get chrono boosted out to start. Now, I expect a 5-game 2-hour series between these two, so strap yourselves in. It won't necessarily be that way, but even though they're both pretty good at timing attacks and throwing the kitchen sink at each other, I think REYNOR can out-multitask ZOUN. On the other hand, I think ZOUN's better at building a more efficient late-game army because he's Protoss. I don't think REYNOR has huge faith in his late game. On the other hand, I think he can run circles around guys if ZOUN's not good enough at just kind of covering all the different attack avenues. REYNOR's speed could be a big advantage. I think REYNOR's biggest weakness in this matchup is a lack of understanding of kind of when to go mutas and how to do them. I think in general, European players are very bad at playing Mutalisks in ZVP. I think it is a weaker strategy. It's a lower percentage strategy, but when it works very well. Now, interestingly, no Oracle opening. This is an old school Glaive Adept opening. Good way to kind of change the pace to start the series and really see how up-to-date REYNOR is on his ability to respond to that. Overlord will sacrifice itself to get that information. And REYNOR's already got 3 Overlords building, so very good preparation, knowing that was going to go down, making sure the supply block is as minimal as possible. This is our 4th series today, guys. 4th best of 5. We've got 2 more best of 5 semi-finals after this. So I'm going to try and just be a bit more chill. And when the game gets hype, I'll shout a little bit, because I will inevitably get excited, but I'm purposely trying to keep a bit of a dampener on it for now. Roach Warrant and Second Gas both pretty early. I do wonder if REYNOR's going to go for the classic 3 Ravager build. Also, there's a Sentry, guys. Oh, he wants to force field the ramp. He energy recharge the Sentry. He's going to drop on the high ground so that the Adepts will shade in the front. Warp Prism will fly in, drop a Sentry, force field the ramp. This is dirty. Because normally you only get like 1, at most 2 force fields. He's going to have 4. Because look, he's only 22 energy away from getting his 4th force field. Oh my gosh, that's 44 seconds. Which he can lock the main. I mean, a Ravager could get through though. Spores are building as well, just 38 workers, incredibly safe for REYNOR. He's building 3 more drones now. Okay, so he is adding some safety. A couple of Adepts come out, he warps in even more. Single Ravager being made so far. 3rd Spore Crawler as well, that's interesting. Oh no, only a 2nd, okay. Alright, Ling's going to track the shades, making sure it's not very tempting to actually complete that. Roach Ravager ready on the front. Immortals are building. No chance to use that force field just yet. The forward 3rd base kind of protects against that. If he'd taken the straight line 3rd, would have been more of an option. Observer Siege is up. Adepts are going to poke in and out. Don't want to lose any of these Adepts though. Oh, he gets rid of the Creep Tumor. Another Immortals building, so it's going to be just a big Immortal Adept push. I personally find this to be one of the hardest pushes to stop, but I think REYNOR usually pretty good against it. He's droning though. He's still droning. Does he not? Like, there's no 3rd. He moves his Ling. He realizes there's no 3rd. He should be much more scared. He's making a lair. He's making 2 more gases. You need mass Ravager to deal with this, and as much gas as possible is the answer. He's on 2 gases. So taking 2 more will drastically help. He still sees no 3rd, and he's realizing it's 6 minutes. I am getting 2 base all in right now. 4 more gateways coming in. It's going to be 2 Immortals, a Sentry, and a mass of Adepts. That Sentry kind of camouflaged in there, isn't he? Hard to see that Sentry, but I'm sure the health bars will be showing for REYNOR. I doubt he uses the dodgy settings that we use for observing just to make things look pretty. Evo Chambers on the way. More Roaches, more Ravagers, more Zerglings. It's going to be 5 Ravagers. Is that enough? Well, I think it's going to do okay. Problem is Roaches get minced by Immortals. Lings get minced by Adepts. So even with a 25, 30 army supply lead, or overall supply lead, it's going to be tough. Adepts committing here for a wild engagement. Lings come in from behind. The Immortals are on the high ground, but they are not focusing the Roaches, and that Prism is taking big damage. The Queen there, can she take him down? Yes, she can. And that is an absolute shutdown. Completely locks it down there. ZOUN just shoves and gets wiped out. I would have liked to see a bit more in and out with ZOUN, a bit more micro back and forth. Use the Prism. I didn't like the commitment to just shade on top of the Roach Ravager, but I think REYNOR defended so well, ZOUN just felt too much pressure. Alright guys, going into game 2, we've got ZOUN in the bottom left side of the map, REYNOR in the top left, and I'm very curious to see where this series goes, because REYNOR kind of shut that down in game 1. It's a build I think if you haven't played against it in a while, it's very easy to get wrecked by. I would have liked to see the early Adepts, though, hit harder, right? Like, move in and... I don't know, I think there could have been more of an effort for ZOUN to get something done, right? It felt like he didn't do a lot with the opening pressure. And I'm not saying he needed to kill a lot of units, but just have some more movement. Split 2 Adepts around the right side, rotate a Prism into the main, anything to get some movement. Just force REYNOR to make some more mistakes. Felt like it was too easy for REYNOR to defend in that game, and don't get me wrong, getting in a mechanical dance with REYNOR is always tough, but probably a better option than what happened. This is going to be Persephone, a long rush distance map, and we'll almost certainly see a return to the Oracle play that is more standard. Oh, wildfire season for you guys on the West Coast? That's unfortunate, guys. Already? Isn't it just autumn? Here in the Northern Hemisphere? Already wildfire season, eh? I guess summer's just ended, right? So it's, I guess it's still late summer, kind of thing. Okay, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you, Dot. We've got some boiling water ready, guys, for my voice after this game. Oh, what is this? Proxy Stargate. Guys, does he turn this into the Tempest build that Hero did, just off 2 base rather than 1, where he actually, like, full commits to the proxy and builds, like, everything here? Or does it just 1 Oracle into a normal build? I do not know. Very exciting, though. Seal Blue says it's not autumn till next week. Ah, see, that's a very mainland European thing. I don't know about you guys, wherever you are in the world. Let me know. In Australia, the seasons for us are just the months. Like, we do not have, like, midsummer, midwinter festivals or anything like that. So for us, it's like, you know, December, January, February. For us, it's summer. For you guys, it would be winter. Next 3 months, you know, then you have autumn, then you have winter, then you have spring. And it's just 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, right? And it's just based off the calendar. Whereas I think you're going off like the technical solstices and stuff, which is I guess the correct way to do it. But that's very, for us, we're like, it's the 1st of September. It is now autumn, or fall if you're in America. First Oracle goes in. Sorry guys, bad commentary. Didn't get any damage. One drone goes down. Overlord did fall there. And the Zerglings are hanging out. REYNOR is shutting this down so far. I don't think he even realizes this is a proxy. The early Oracle comes in, does nothing, and REYNOR's just chilling. Okay, no. He does. Okay, he's looking for it now. Clearing that Stargate up is really good for the future. It means Spire becomes an amazing strategy because you've cleared your opponent's Stargate, which means he can't reactively build Phoenix. And this also just keeps the Oracles occupied over here, which they really don't want to do. Third Nexus coming in with 2 Adepts guarding it. Blink is on the way as well. And a Roach Warren goes down for REYNOR, just in case there's some sort of Glaive Adept follow-up. Oh, can he get some? That's a bit greedy, though. You really don't want to lose these Oracles, because you can't rebuild them. Does get into the corner. Okay, that's really nice. Lings will depower the Stargate over here. And 2 Adepts coming in the right side. Is he going to be able to deal with it in time? Yeah, REYNOR's all over this, dude. REYNOR is looking smooth. Loses a couple drones. That's really not too bad, though. Not with how many Adepts have gone down, how much control REYNOR has. You can see his work account is fantastic. Feels like he's just so on point right now. Remember, REYNOR was very close to taking down Serral back in the World Championship. I've always wondered, do people in the Southern Hemisphere celebrate Christmas, have a lot of winter iconography and symbols. Yeah, it's quite funny. We've obviously got a huge carryover from English and German culture. Well, Christmas especially, you know, German, kind of Danish, right? A lot of the stuff is from about there that carried through the English culture. So there's a lot of, like, you know, growing up, you're like, you know, there's turkeys, there's cake, there's like hot puddings and, you know, fruit cakes with custards and eggnogs, and it's a lot of that. But then we do have like we have a surfing Santa Claus, and generally, you know, I'd say it's just as common to have a barbecue outside, you know, in your backyard or at a park or whatever, or go down to the beach, as it is to have the traditional dinner. Though, I mean, to be fair, you usually kind of do both. But it is a hot time of year, so it is kind of funny. People will have like fake snow in their Christmas trees and stuff like this, and you're just like, this is definitely a carryover from the Northern Hemisphere, where most of our culture comes from. Alright guys, so it looks like ZOUN's going to turn his camera off. He really should just use it on his phone, if it's that hard. Because he can use a different connection, no doubt, on his phone, different processing power to send that feed out, but yeah, it's weird.
Game resumed.
Yeah, South America's the same. Yeah. Yeah, South America and Australia both have that European culture in a very different environment. Oracle's pulling back. We get the Lings running down the right side. +1 range coming up. Infestation Pit has started in behind the third. So guys, REYNOR's going to go for a very quick hive. And he's got a... Sorry guys, muted to sneeze there. He's going to go for a good hive. He's in a very good position. He's adding those drones, still trying to get rid of the Stargate. I'm surprised ZOUN's still fighting to defend that. I guess he's just like, hey, anytime I pick up a free Zergling for energy, it's an okay trade. Interestingly, no Hydroden yet. I imagine we're going to see, there we go, Hydroden go down just before the hive does start. I've criticized REYNOR for not doing that for years. He'd often start the hive and then 30 seconds later start the Hydroden. Never was able to start his lurkers upgrades on time. He's really added a lot of definition to his macro game recently. Feels like he's grinded a lot of hard late games, and he's just so reliable and so consistent now. Like, look at this. Hydroden finishes. How long till he builds a Lurkaden? I would bet you it's within a few seconds. And that's something I used to be so critical because he'd never do this. He's so quick on this stuff now. There's going to be almost no downtime between hive finishing and lurker finishing and then starting the lurker upgrades. Gets an oracle as well. Yeah, I really feel there used to be this like psychological blind spot for REYNOR in this matchup where he'd go to hive and he'd just have no plan of what to do with it, or he'd just be very like late on it. And there'd be these windows where people could hit him with just before his hive tech kicked in, where he could sometimes die. And I was like, I just don't... There was no reason for it. He was just always more focused on Ling run buys and running around with his lair tech units. And he'd hover in the mid game a little bit longer than he needed to. Which I think is one of the funnest ways of playing StarCraft 2, but it's just not as effective as rushing that hive tech out. And you can see there, hive finishes, Lurkaden only a few seconds behind. He's got that second Hydra upgrade coming in. 87 workers. He's up 60 supply. ZOUN's trying to go second Stargate Fleet Beacon. My lord, he is just miles behind in this game. You know, because he lost his other Stargate, he had to rebuild it and then start the Fleet Beacon in the second star. Seismic Spines is on the way. REYNOR's in control of this series. The Basilisk boys are just so good at StarCraft recently, and I think after you grind for a $800,000 world championship, you know, it makes sense you're going to be top of your game for the next little while, but it's not like ZOUN and these other players weren't grinding as well. They all were. It just feels like the practice has paid off so well for the Basilisk duo. Trigger as well, no doubt, I think. Having some good performances despite going out early in the World Championship. Massive Hydraling Lurker surround. You can see the way he wants to bait these storms out. Zealot counter comes in, but with the Hydra rally, the Queen's tanking. Some nice transfuses. Looks like Serral's got on top of that, or at least he will soon. Oh, he accidentally moved his Hydras away. Roach is still there on the left. They eat a big storm. Nice move for ZOUN. REYNOR not watching. I don't know why I'm saying Cyril. My bad, guys. REYNOR wasn't watching for a moment. But the Roaches will get cleaned up on that left side. Right side. Oh, the Tempests are out. They will eventually put an end to this. And actually, ZOUN holds on the right side. Oh, the Hydras move through the choke point. And actually, a lot of them died as Zealots. Trying to get on top of the Tempests. Dude, this is an incredibly impressive hold for ZOUN. I thought ZOUN was completely dead zones. Now, REYNOR's kind of, I would say, trickling in. And it actually feels like that's really bad for him. Because look, now that the units come in, you've overcommitted. Now your lurkers get broken. REYNOR went way too all in that, and he gets punished big time. Are there any oracles left, guys? There's one oracle left. I don't know where it is right now. Observer and Tempest will clean this up. And now REYNOR has to play late game, but he doesn't have a Spire. His gases started mining here just about 30 seconds ago. Ooh, he's going second Evo, so he started melee upgrades. Doesn't have Adrenal. That was that needed to do more damage. I really think he took a bit too long to press in. I think REYNOR needed to press in harder, faster. Losing all those Roaches on the left the way he did wasn't great. The Zealot counter distracted him a bit more than I thought it would. And now ZOUN's getting to a maxed out late game where he should be the favorite. And that's an incredible turnaround. This could tilt the heck out of REYNOR and could just break him mentally at the start of the series. I know REYNOR's already won a game, but like, I could actually see this being a 3-1 in ZOUN's favor just because REYNOR had a good position, it didn't work, and how he handles that and bounces back from it is gonna make a big impact on the next bit of this series. I don't see ZOUN panicking and making dumb mistakes from here. I think he's gonna play pretty stable no matter what. I think he's a bit more unshakable than REYNOR, whereas REYNOR, he's feisty. Sometimes feistiness means you get a bit overly excited. Spire's coming in, Adrenal, Overlord speed, Lurker speed. I mean, lots of things working out for REYNOR. We'll see. Maybe he can dance in the late game with ZOUN better than I expect, because we have seen him do well in the late game. You know, I think sometimes, I know that he doesn't want to go to the late game. He never has. He's not the best at it. On the other hand, there were a lot of the last year, he has spent grinding tournaments where he doesn't try to cheese Protoss and just lets them go to late game and then just plays it out. I think you know, part of having a bit of an ego as a competitor is sometimes you can use that to challenge yourself to do things that are ridiculously hard. And that sounds like torture to me, and I think it surely would have been for REYNOR. But I think he motivated himself by realizing, like, hey, if I get good enough to beat Protoss at their own game, I'll be unstoppable. And I don't think it worked out in the fact that he's unstoppable in late game, but the fact that he can actually beat top Protoss players in late game, he can take the maps off Classic, he can take the maps off ZOUN, even in his weakest area, because he put so much practice into it, that's a really good way to progress as a player. Nice save. Hatchery gets out of 60 life, but he gets all the Stalkers. Obviously, ZOUN was throwing away Stalkers because he didn't want them. Now, he's going for what I would argue is too many Tempests, guys. He's got 9, he's building 3 more. That's 12 Tempests. These are a lot of supply. They're a decent unit, but I don't really feel that. I think that's overkill, right? I mean, you'll be able to one-shot Corruptors, Lurkers, anything. It's just, I don't think you need 12 to one-shot. And I think having a bit of buffer so you can lose 1 or 2, maybe 3 Tempests and still one-shot a few big units, that's great. But at a certain point, do you have enough support on the ground? 6 High Templar, 1 Arc, 9 Zealots. And he's now building 2 Immortals, just to give him some meatier anti-armored units on the ground. Chat says, back on that topic about REYNOR with Hive, 2 years ago he'd get Hive just for Adrenal. Yeah, which was really dumb, because there were games where he had a lot of money and he just would kind of make Adrenal off the Hive and nothing else, and it was like, come on, you've got money, tech up, mate. Yeah. Those were always frustrating times where I was like, is he going to go Ultras? Is he going to go Greater Spire? And he'd just make Adrenal and nothing off Hive for 5 minutes. Double upgrades are on the way now. I think, is he forgotten about his Spire, guys? I think he's made an upgrade. Surely not. 7 more Overlords on the way. REYNOR's going to go heavy Overseer, I think, to try and fly in and make it hard for the feedback to happen. Now, one weakness of REYNOR's style right now, guys, is he's playing no Spellcasters. So that's kind of weak. in that you can't punish movement. Like here, you could come in from the right and abduct a few Tempests, right? Gold base goes down. I mean, Reynor can just rebuild it, but it's important to delay Reynor mining that base because that gives you time to get over there and actually just clear this area of the map and remove the base. Probes are sacrificing themselves right now. ZOUN going down to 80 workers, realizing that is more than enough. Both sides starting to bank. Did he just storm a single Zergling, guys? That's wild. All right, we've got Nidus heads at all these bases, guys. Look at this. Wow, all around the map, Nidus heads popping up. Just for defensive mobility. 2-1 air upgrades on the way. We've also got 3-1 on the way for ZOUN. Chrono Boost is going to help that out as well. That Zergling Storm is 25 minerals for free. He's playing the long game. You're not wrong. I think ZOUN is amazing in late game, by the way. Has been for a very long time. Lurkers are going to slowly siege this side. Start to wear through the cannons. Storms plus energy recharges being a nuisance. Finally, that High Templar does go down to the Lurkers. Right side Tempests are a real big issue. Double Nidus when I'm going up in the natural. Changelings are in. Changelings are in the base. Reynor wisely abandons the gold. His Lurkers slow pushing this left side. He might want to break through the left with Hydras just to put on some quicker damage. These Nidus Worms are going to pop up. He's not going to have any units loaded though. Nothing ready to go there. I'd love to see him A-move this left side just with how committed ZOUN is on the right. 15 Corruptors are out against the 11 Tempests. Pretty good count. Ooh. Yeah, these volleys getting powerful. Where is the Oracle for Revelation, I wonder? Mothership comes in. One Archon does get popped pretty quickly though. Units lost tab right now is 3,000 in favor of ZOUN. I did say this would be a 2-hour 5-game series, didn't I? It looked like Reynor might take a quick 2-0 advantage, but now he's getting dragged into the sandpaper wars where ZOUN is trying to grind him down. Rebuilding cannon battery on that left. Hatchery got killed in the top right. Lurkers eviscerate those zealots. Woo! And a big push there. Reynor's economy is getting minced. Reynor has more bank right now. I actually would like to see Reynor drop to about 50 workers and replace it all with army. I'd love to see 1 or 2 Vipers for picking off air units and parasitic bombs, and a few Infestors as well, which he does have the 3 Infestors now. He's going to go 6 more. He's going to go Mass Infest. I just think 1 or 2 Vipers. You know, that you're not always going to get value out of them. Just having them available, looking for those abducts and parasitic bombs can really make a big difference. Alright, Lurkers will eventually defend this base. Nidus Worms getting cleaned up. Units lost tab check-in 6,000 or 5.5 in favor of ZOUN. And because Reynor's not mining the middle base, the gold, this is disastrous for Reynor. Like long-term, outlook looks amazing for Protoss. Max Cannon, rebuilt on that left side. Take a long time to break through that. And unless you've got Bane speed, which is why I think that's one of Cyril's best things in late game, is rolling speed Banes and Ultras through the cannon battery onto the bases and really using that maneuverability. And because Reynor right now has, I mean, you guys will call, on my stream, I'll call that like a cuck composition. It just feels like you kind of, it's hard to make a fight happen. You kind of need to wait for the opponent to come and fight your wife, or fight you, sorry. It's weird. It's hard to force a fight with Lurker, Corruptor, Infestor. You kind of got to wait for ZOUN to make a mistake, you know? It's a weird thing. Whereas if you've got more of like Ultra Ling Bane, yeah, it's kind of not good at fighting the air army, but like it's a bit more able to bust through the cannons on the edge, play the mobility game, and then you can kind of swap more into the Corruptor, Lurker, Broodlord, Viper, that sort of stuff. As it is, Reynor's got to play so patient. Now, he's about 5.8 thousand resources behind, not too bad. He's got some Lurkers coming in on that left side. Always feels so awkward trying to siege cannons with Lurkers. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. It just feels so weird, man. ZOUN's going to defend it with a Dark Templar. Flicks it forward like a boss. That's sick. Tempest on the right side coming forward. Infestors. I mean, he's going to look for Fungal and then Neural on the Tempest. And honestly, ZOUN not revelating, I think, is potentially a mistake, but feedback does land. There's no Broodlords either. Broodlords are good because they can come forward and snipe those High Templar. But if ZOUN can keep Reynor on the edge of his range, he can kind of just chip it in with the Tempest and slowly get ahead. These Dark Templar do come forward. They blink on top and actually do take out a couple lurkers, but DTs aren't cheap, man, so I don't know if that's actually a good trade. Zealot Warping, on the other hand, will do it. Of course, he's trying to break through it with very limited supply to warp in units. There's just cannon battery everywhere, isn't there? So much cannon battery. Adrenal Zerglings are good. They've got 3-2 upgrades, but can't get too much done. Lurkers are busting through the static on the left. Wings are going to pull back there. 5,000 resources in the units lost. It's not really getting any worse. And if Reynor could reestablish the gold or kill one of these bases, suddenly this swings. But right now, he's out of the Broodlord. Still no sign of a Viper. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the Viper. It feels like when I watch someone dominate late game in this matchup, they just have a Viper, and they don't stress over doing stuff with it. They just happen to seem to find moments where they go, oh, I can abduct 2 Tempests. Oh, I can drop a parasitic bomb in the middle and knock a few hit points off all these Tempests. Bottom right side base is going to go up. ZOUN's got a bit too much security right now. Look, he just rebuilds. It's like Reynor, if he's going to keep doing the run-bys, needs to up the tempo somehow. I just don't know how he's going to do that. 17 Corruptors, 10 Lurkers, 8 Infestors, 9 Broodlords. He has no supply left for Zerglings, which actually means it's the perfect time for ZOUN to pivot into multi-prong Protoss. If he just started sending Zealots everywhere, it'd be good. But of course, both sides don't really have any supply free for that. Ooh, Observer sees the rotation. I wouldn't mind a recall, actually, over there. I think recall could be so good against this. Tempest's going to come forward and try to snipe the hatchery. A little bit greedy. Oh, he pops a few Infestors, though, with the feedback. Nicely done. And only one High Templar goes down. Brilliant play there by ZOUN. Lurker's going to push in the left. High Templar comes forward, drops a little Stormy Storm. And looks like these Lurkers are going to find value. I don't think these Zealots are going to do anything. 3 Zealots? Yeah, that's a donation, that is. Right side, Tempest come forward. They get fungal. Corruptors go for it. Oh, but the Archons are there. And the Time Warp. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Neural. He Neurals the Archons, though. The Neural and the Archons. The Corruptors on top of the Tempests. I don't know. Is this good? I don't know what's happening. Parasitic Bomb went down somewhere in the middle of this. The Archons are doing a lot of damage to the army of ZOUN. But it looks like it's not quite enough. Oh, man. Okay, goes for the Mass Neural. Doesn't quite make that fight happen. And looks like ZOUN here just rebuilding 6 Tempests. Still mostly maxed out. It's going to push through. The Broodlord's getting shoved back. Yes, the Lurkers finally break a base on the left side. That's just too much supply that wasn't with his main army. And I think ZOUN realized and punished it. I do not think Reynor should have fought there. I think that's something where Reynor just needed to be a little bit more aware of. If you're going to send that many Lurkers away, you can't take the frontal fight. ZOUN seemed to, I think, make that assessment and just forces Reynor into a really awkward position. I do think if Reynor went to this style a bit later, you know, hung out on Ultraling Hydra a bit more, Ultraling Hydra Corrupted, just roamed the map a little bit more, maybe got ZOUN, you know, to lose a few bases, maybe, just maybe. Here come the Lurker, Blinding Cloud, big Blinding Clouds, big Blinding Cloud Hydras around, Mothership goes down. Time Warp still doing massive work, but the Corruptors will clear the Tempest. Is there enough Lurkers? Reynor with an incredible engagement. He's still got 12,000 resources in the bank. It's 17,000 resources behind, though. Even having killed that base, I mean, I would have liked to see him remax, but I think he's low on lava. He just built a bunch of Zerglings. It is what it is. I think ZOUN was going to tie that up either way. GG, well played. All right, nice comeback in that last game. ZOUN was down. He was in a bad spot, but he fights back, and Reynor not happy with that turnaround. Also, curious, guys, why no Spire? He could have played Mutas. Last game, I was talking about it. He's not the best at spotting when Mutas are good. Mutas would have been amazing in that last game. They would have been so good, man. Would have loved to see me some Muttnuts. Would have been absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think ZOUN was also venturing pretty far forward with his Tempest, so without really clearing vision. So maybe that Viper with the abducts, yeah, could have maybe got some abducts if he went for 1 or 2 Vipers a bit earlier. Just force ZOUN to be a bit more safe with the way he moves around the map. Second gas goes down after the Nexus and Cybercore, of course, and second pylon right after that. Very typical opening for ZOUN, nothing too crazy there. Hatch gas pool for REYNOR as well, pretty straightforward. Yeah, REYNOR's got to not get too tilted by that last game. And I think that's where the real danger lies right now. I think he's pretty stable mentally in terms of not getting too thrown off. But, you know, there are still times where I think a game like that gets under his skin and just throws him off his momentum a little bit. So for ZOUN, if he can win another game in a row, might be able to reverse this series from down 0-1 to 3-0 or 3-1 his way. Just no more of those Adept openings after the way REYNOR handled it in game 1. If he goes Adept after Oracle, I like it, but Oracle first. Just too good to say no to at the moment. Yeah, dropping a 50 drones would have been interesting to see how that played out, you know? Get that extra 20-30 supply of army earlier. The problem is you need to find more efficiency. Like, you can't be down 30 drones on Protoss and trading evenly or even inefficiently, or long term it's going to be bad. But I think sometimes you got to, you know, it's like, hey, look, if we're both sitting on 80 workers and the game's chilled out, like ZOUN's such a favorite anyway, sometimes it's like you got to say, hey, I've got 6,000 resources in the bank. I don't need any more right now. Let's drop my worker count down. Let's have more army. Let's try to make more plays, and then maybe we can do something with it. REYNOR, this game is looking for a tactical Ling Flood. It's going to be a lot of Lings, guys. 20 Zerglings. And he wants to cancel that third base. ZOUN has not moved out to take it just yet, though. He's going to shade his Adepts out now. Look at how responsible he is with this. His Oracle's out. Oh, his Oracle's going across the map. It's going down the left, though. It might see this. Oh, it misses it. He misses the Lings. But he sees these ones. He sees those Lings. He sees the second guys. I like the way REYNOR instantly held position to make it look like, what? They're not running across the map. I was looking for you, Mr. Oracle. But the Nexus starts nonetheless. Oracle's overhead. It can just turn its laser on straight away. Doesn't even do it. REYNOR respects it because he says, well, 2 Adepts in a choke point and an Oracle overhead. I can't do that. Great start for ZOUN. Should he have sent the Lings down the right side? No, I think the Oracle rarely goes to... Who sends their Oracle towards the third? There's no drones at the third that early. And yet he sent it there. Hopefully just... I think he was just looking for either lava kills, clearing creep, and you know, also happened to see the Ling Flood. Maybe that's something he does a lot. And if so, perhaps something REYNOR should have studied about his opponent. So those little details that... Sometimes you think, oh, everyone goes the right, but then you actually study and you go, oh, ZOUN actually always goes the left. He always goes towards the third base. So against ZOUN, maybe flooding those Lings down the right side is actually the correct choice. But that you've only got so much time to study all of your opponent's habits, right? Especially here in a quarterfinals. Lings getting pushed back by these Adepts as well. Very safe play. The one thing REYNOR's done really well is he hasn't let the Adepts shade across the map and join up with the Oracles, because those... in his face, on his side of the map, would be a real problem. Bailey Nest does start up. Still no lair in this game. REYNOR wants to play a Hydra Bane. He wants to get active in the mid-game and swarm over ZOUN. He doesn't want to give him much time. Ooh, hatchery. Only 600 hit points, guys. It is building, which means he gains hit points pretty quickly. This Oracle's down to 23, 22 energy. I mean, I think that's enough energy to just barely get this hatchery. Let's see. 300 hit points. Queens are here, though. And that's a save. All right. Nice save for REYNOR. Not the most exciting save. The Queens did waddle over, though, and get there in time. 5th base is on the way as well. Yeah, REYNOR's going to play one of these fast and loose styles. Mass Lings surrounding the Adepts, but they'd already pre-shaded, which means they do get to the safety of the shield battery. Stalker's now warping in, as well as a nice Templar Archives at about 545. Robo as well, or 540, I should say, for the Templar Archives. Drone count is 69 for REYNOR. 6 more building. Lair is still not finished. There's going to be plenty of time to build up storms before the Hydra Bane arrives. Question is, can you defend this base on the left? Like, if the Hydras come in and get out this side, and here, that's hard to defend. Not to mention, if units come up this side and they kind of move up and breach into this area, before you get in position and they start kind of getting around the mineral line, that's where things get bad. So you've got to not let the Zerg up the ramps into the positions where they can kind of properly surround your bases. You know, if he's coming down this ramp, you got to engage him in this choke point. If he's coming up this ramp, you got to engage him in this choke point. That's ZOUN's job in this game. And he should have plenty of Psystorm to do it with. All right, Hydra movement speed comes in first, +1 range as well. 86 workers for REYNOR. He's got the economy. He's got a macro hatch coming in as well. Dude, the number of units he's going to have is crazy. He has forgot Bane speed for now. I think he's going to go straight across the map with these Hydras. Oh, canceling this would be massive. ZOUN out of position, guys. Big mistake. ZOUN's already going second Stargate. He's already thinking about late game. And that's really good against Lurkers, against Hive. Oh, bad fight for REYNOR. That was not a smart one. Yeah, that was a bit of a dum-dum fight. You cannot tank Storm with Zerglings. I think REYNOR should attack this base right now, though. I think REYNOR should waste no time and just be rallying across the map. I think he's wasting time waiting for upgrades right now. I honestly think if he attacks right now, his early game macro has just been a bit better, a bit smoother. He's defended the pressure. He needs to go, but he's wasting time. He's thinking about timing things out with an upgrade. Like, if he waits for +1, he's missing the window. It's not about Storm finishing or not. It's about there being supporting units and cannons and batteries ready for the Storm. And he's giving that time for it to finish. He's giving a bit too much respect for ZOUN. I know I can see this. He can't. He doesn't know about the second Stargate, the fleet beacon. But we know about that. We know he's got to get a move on. Bane speed is still 30 seconds away, but he's waiting for it, and that's a huge mistake. Because now, look at this. ZOUN knows where he's coming from. He's got so much time to put cannon battery arc on. That being said, the supply difference is crazy. ZOUN still might get overwhelmed here, man. That's an insane supply difference. The Hydra Bane, I actually would love to see it go up the other ramps and come in from multiple angles. I think REYNOR, he's foreshadowed where his attack's coming from. He's announced it. He's got to get something. He's maxed. +1 range, Bane speed, Groove Spines, all finishing. You see those upgrades on the right side of your screen, guys. He's got to go now, but he's going to attack purely in this one area into mass cannon stasis trap. I just don't think, I think he's taken too long. I think ZOUN has this. Storms come forward. Oh, great Storm on those Banelings. Banelings getting hit by a stasis trap just before they go down to the Storm. High Templar exposed to the Banes. Oh, a bunch of them do go down. There's a lot of Hydras behind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, he might just have it. REYNOR might just have it. He's got the numbers. The Storms do land pretty big, but maybe, just maybe not big enough as REYNOR. Oh my lord, dude. No way. Wow, 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 wow. I stand by my analysis. If he went earlier, I think this is the easiest win of his life. But hats off to him. Good spreadies. Lots of Hydras coming in behind. Even though the Ling Bane got cleared up, his early game macro, his numbers were insane. And I mean, you've got to see just how early he had 86 workers up in this game. How well his Lings kept the Adept zone. There was 6 Adepts that never moved across the map. There's a lot of things REYNOR did to get in this position, where it's kind of one of those things you often don't see with pro gamer against pro gamer, where one guy just gets so far ahead of the other that he can absolutely flood. And much like when you're a child and you try to throw sand into the ocean to fight the waves, ZOUN found out that that was the battle that he just did not have the strength to take on. Alright, guys. We got REYNOR in the bottom left side of the map for Basilisk, and ZOUN in the top right. I don't know why I did the intro like that. I apologize. That was grating even from my ears. He's going to go for the blocky block. Good move. REYNOR does go down a little early with the drone, though, so he can build that extra 2 drones and still take his natural on the 3rd at a normal time for a 17 hatchery. A little later than a 16 hatchery. It means he'll be slightly supply blocked on starting the queens. They'll be delayed about 2 seconds, not maybe 3 seconds. It's very, you know, very little difference. Just the fact that he's out at the 3rd, though, a little annoying. I wonder if ZOUN goes back to like a Glaive Adept opening and tries to, you know, get in there with the Adepts, punish the 3rd being out front or something like that. Top 4 of this tournament is going to be played offline in 2 weeks' time, guys. We are, of course, casting this live, which is a rare treat for a tournament that's, I think right now it's almost 3 a.m. back in Australia. But it's 6 p.m. in the evening here in the UK. 7 p.m. if you're over in Central Europe. 8 p.m. if you're over in Bucharest. Not going to list all the other time zones. That would be superfluous. Some would say that's not good commentary. And I am no one, if not someone who is steered in their commentary by trying to not annoy people. That's probably one of my main jobs. Don't be annoying. Ironically, some of you may have realized I was being kind of annoying by talking about not being annoying. That's the joke. Remember, guys, a joke's really good if you have to explain it. That's a general rule. That definitely always applies. It looks like a Stargate build for ZOUN. Yep, Stargate again. All right. So I guess he just wanted to disrupt Reynor's opening a little bit. I think he felt like, damn, Reynor got too far ahead in that last game. Let's disrupt his opening. Maybe we could throw his build off just a little. But this probe, can he regen shields? Yes, okay, he'll survive one more hit. And actually, the Lings give up on chasing him. So it does barely get out of there. 2 Lings will always inevitably catch a probe if they have enough time. But knowing there's an Adept coming, doesn't want to get caught. Reynor chills out. He's going for 8 Zerglings very early. 10 Zerglings. Oh no, sorry, 6 Zerglings very early. I tabbed between the units and the production tab, and a funny thing happens where sometimes you'll see the unit in production, but then it's just popping, and you swap to units, and you see it there as well. You add the 2 numbers together, and then you go, oh, wait a second. I did a double count. Doesn't happen too often. Second gateway goes up in the wall off. Stalker very early. He's hoping to catch an Overlord, but the Overlord's conservatively placed. Reynor's back there. His next Overlord is here out there front his third base. A few Lings will pop. They're going to run forward. Just make it a little annoying for him to take the third, but I think this is a good move. You know, it's not a massive amount of Lings. It's like 10. So you just built a few more than you needed to defend Adepts anyway. But because you Ling flooded super hard in the previous game, ZOUN has to respect it. And you might be worth darting in for the probe snipe here. Cost you probably 4 Zerglings if you commit to it, but doesn't go for it. Pylon goes down, Nexus goes down. Adepts assume the position, nestled in between the Nexus and the Pylon. There is a bit of surface area there, like 4 Zerglings can probably attack at once, at least 3. That's not too bad. Alright, so the Oracles probably should go across the map now. I think, you know, 2 Adepts plus Warp Gate being finished with 2 gateways, you should be able to defend 10 Zerglings, right? And there we go. It builds a battery, warps in 2 more Adepts just to be careful. Roachhorn down. Very early Roachhorn. Is Reynor Queen walking? This looks like a Queen walk build order. Oh yeah. Yeah, he deflects the Oracles and now he wants to walk. Right? No, he doesn't have Overlords. He's building drones. Why is his Roachhorn so early? Interesting. I guess maybe he's worried about like a really fast Glaives follow-up? 2 more Overlords building. Lair starts? That's a fake Lair. That's a fake Lair. He is still Queen walking, it's just slightly delayed. No, he goes drones. Alright, sorry guys, I'm misreading Reynor's plays here. Reynor's just playing a macro game. Starts at 4th base. And 3rd Nexus comes up for ZOUN as well. I really do feel like if ZOUN could push with Adepts and Oracles together, he could actually get ahead in these games, but because he's letting Reynor scare him into being too defensive, and I think that's actually costing him a lot in this series. Because I think Reynor, once again, is up 10 drones relatively early, about to be up like 13, 14 workers. That's a good solid lead, and he's not being greedy. He's got Roaches coming out for safety. He has an early 4th base. Templar Archives is well-timed, but it just feels to me like Reynor is leading the charge economically, and I think ZOUN should have gone triple Oracle. And so the reason is, if you have the 3rd Oracle, you use that to defend your base as it comes out, while your 2 Oracles go across the map with your 6 Adepts. And I think missing that window to pressure has allowed Reynor to get away with just 5 Queens and 10 Zerglings. And that's a very streamlined build order. Now Reynor has to make a decision now about, does he go Infestation, Spire? Infestation if he wants Lurker and Hive play, Spire if he wants Mutas, or does he just go for a Roach Max? And it does feel to me like a Roach Max, because we just haven't seen that tech. And if it gets to 645 and he hasn't dropped any tech, like we pretty much know for sure he's planning a big all-in. This is a hard map to all-in though, because you're attacking usually from one side. If you come from the left as well, come from 2 angles maybe. 5 more drones. Interesting. Okay, so Reynor, he's going to have, yeah, it's going to be a Roach Max, but he's going to have a giant economy behind it. So he will have to build some tech behind it. It's just going to be kind of a follow-up plan rather than the main plan. He's going to go 8 gas. Oh, it's the 8 gas build. It's the Queen Walk Mass Ravager. Oh, this build. We see him and Cyril both use this on ley lines. It's the Basilisk Ravager Morass. I don't know. I gave it that name just then. It's not the best, but I kind of like it. Ravager Morass. You make often 30 Ravagers with this, but it's crazy. Because you just keep making Ravagers. Oh, the Oracle sees it. He spots the roaches. The Oracle knows. The question is, what could he do to defend it? I imagine ZOUN builds more cannons. More cannons. He's only got 4 High Templar. He's making a second Stargate still. I think honestly, just Immortals getting chronoed as hard as possible. More stasis traps can help. But look at this. We're into Ling production now for REYNOR, and he's just making as many Ravages as he can. He starts with 11. The Overlords come forward to drop the Creep Highway. And the Queens come forward to deal with those Oracles. In this case, there's only 1 Oracle left. And I wouldn't mind him breaking these rocks as well. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. Wow. 14 Ravages on the way, guys. This is a big push. Can ZOUN hang on, or will REYNOR be able to finish the series? It's such a massive commitment to low-tech units. Cannon goes down. Nexus cancelled. Trying to survive on 3 base, and that's all he has to do. Survive on 3 base, but will he be able to? Stalker's blinking forward is a crazy move for ZOUN, but the stasis trap's really helping him here. They've actually done pretty well so far at thinning the numbers out. Doesn't have much defending the natural, just 1 cannon and battery. That Storm didn't do too much. He's only got so much Psy Storm, and you can see the Ravagers can siege these buildings down. He clicks the Ravagers forwards, takes out 1 High Templar for a Ravager. That's a trade that REYNOR can take any day of the week. He's got 8 gases. He can make Ravagers for days. He's maxed out, but remember, the Ravagers are 3 supply each, so their actual raw combat power isn't that amazing. They do have good range, 6 range, good movement speed. He's got a big arc of them, but actually, beautiful concave for ZOUN. He's got Storms in there as well. This is a scary moment for REYNOR, who, remember, has no transition behind this. He's lost all of his Queens on the front. Biles try to go down. He does get rid of the Cybercore, but already a new Cybercore has almost finished in the back of the base here for ZOUN. Look at that. Cybercore finishing now. Beautiful play for ZOUN. ZOUN reestablishes control of this area. He blinks forward, the Mad Lad. Oh, here we go. Storm doesn't actually land very well. I think he thought REYNOR was going to run away there. ZOUN moving out here unnecessarily. This is a huge blunder. He should not be out here. Where are his extra High Templar? He doesn't do energy recharge. I get he's on 3 base against 4 going on 5 and he feels pressure, but losing those units is key. If he builds a big enough army on 3 base, like if he gets to 4 or 5 Immortals, like REYNOR just can't deal with that with Roach Ravager Queen. But now you've lost a few High Templar. You've only got 3 left. You've got really only that 1 High Templar with the 2 Storms. Energy recharge miles away from being usable again. Roach is going to try to run by in the natural and focus down maybe some probes in the main. That's a brilliant play because that spreads the very thin resources of ZOUN. The High Templar get focused down. The Ravagers pushing in. The Roaches in the main base. They're going to take out the cannon and then, of course, go to work on those probes. The Ravagers are here as well. And REYNOR going back. I love this because it's a European twist on a build that Dark used to love doing a Roach Max. REYNOR won a world championship with Roach Maxes that Lambo taught him back in 2021. And it's a good build to whip out here. This modern 8-gas Mass Ravager version, because you take so many gases, you build so many drones, it looks exactly like a macro build. In this case, ZOUN did an amazing job to scout it out. I just think, you know, going for the second Stargate in the face of it, the Fleet Beacon, it was nonsense. I think it was a terrible choice. You might think, well, what does it really matter? 150 minerals, 150 gas for the Stargate, 300, 200 for the Fleet Beacon, and then also chasing him down this ramp. I think these were mistakes. I think you just have to play a little bit cleaner against this sort of timing attack from REYNOR. ZOUN wasn't quite able to do it. The Roaches just ran forward and got a High Templar. Sorry, guys. I was like, what are these Roaches misclicked on? He literally just sacrificed 8 Roaches to kill the High Templar that had the energy. Brilliant move for REYNOR. Biles landing on those Stalkers as well. REYNOR continuing to rally units, and he's got a 40 army supply lead. He's got that 5th base up. He's taking gases there. He's like, I need 10 gas to support this Ravager morass, this avalanche of the Rav. Roach Ravager moving forward. The Immortals there having to dodge on that north side. Good micro for ZOUN. Aware of the High Templar. He's got 1. He's waiting for energy recharge, but he's gonna potentially lose it. And the Ravager focus fire is so slick. The Immortals go down as well. Biles are bound here. And REYNOR, he's gonna pull back. Doesn't want to lose all the Ravagers. Doesn't want to let this fight turn drastically away from him. He's got to hold the position so he gets the creep spread contain here going on. 4th Nexus trying to build on that left side. Storm lands on those Ravagers really nicely. But no more Storm where that came from. He's going to have to morph an Archon. Pack of Stalkers, one Archon, and an endless stream of Zerg coming across this map. Now, units lost about 4,000 or 5,000 in favor of ZOUN. Is that going to be enough to allow him to break out here? Looks like maybe. The Ravager army looking very small right now. Even though the army supply is big, a lot of it's rallying across the map. But as long as REYNOR keeps the fight here, he just keeps picking off these units anytime ZOUN overextends. Stalker's trying to blink back here. Good micro for him. The Immortal backing away. The Stalker's trying to pull back. There's no healing left on these batteries anymore. And he needs to make sure he keeps on warping in High Templar, energy recharging them where he can. But because the fighting is non-stop, you don't have time to rebuild regular High Templar and let them bank energy. So it's, here's a High Templar, it has 2 storms, once a minute, that's it. You don't really have time to do anything more than that. And that is why ZOUN is in so much trouble. Oh, big storms, man. But REYNOR just face tanks it. He doesn't care. He's just like, whatever, man. You don't have money. I'm on 5 bases. The income tab, not actually that big on the minerals in the advantage. The gas advantage, though, is absolutely massive. Dumping a lot of that gas into the Ravagers and just pounding home. It's such a good time. It's so hard to scout. Who rushes 8 gases and then all-ins you at, what, 7.5 minutes or whatever with so many units? It's such a hard unit to read. What time did he end up hitting? I think it was about 8 minutes, right? Yeah, about 8 minutes is kind of when the fight arrives on this side of the map. Just after 8 minutes. And that's with 14 Ravagers, but he just doesn't stop morphing. He just keeps making Ravagers. And yeah, once the stasis traps are exhausted, once the storms are exhausted, and the Zerg reinforce just never ends, it is so hard to stop. I also love that he focused on the Cybercore, knowing that if he could stop Stalker Warpins, things like Zealots were going to be relatively useless against this army. Great play by REYNOR. He gets the 3-1, and he goes to the semifinals where he faces Serral.